let us look at the laws of exponents. So we have already learned about these laws of exponents for positive exponents. So the same laws are true for negative exponents as well. That is, if you have any two integers a and b, a to the power m into a to the power n is equal to a to the power m plus n. That is, whenever the bases are the same and you are trying to multiply them, then the exponents will get added. When bases are the same and you are trying to divide them, and the exponents get subtracted. That is, a to the power m divided by a to the power n gives a to the power m minus n. Now, if you are trying to find out the power of a power, that is a to the power m, and this whole power to the power n, that is equal to a to the power mn, that is a to the power product of both the exponents. Now, if you come across a scenario where the bases are different but the exponents are the same and you are trying to multiply them, so in that case your result would be the product of the two bases to the power the exponent, that is ab to the power m. The same is true for division as well. So when your bases are different but exponents are same, the result becomes the division of the two bases to the power the same exponent. A to the power 0 is equal to 1. Any number to the power 0 would always be 1. So let's start with powers of the same base. But this time the examples that we will take, we will consider only the negative exponents. So what happens when we multiply or divide powers with same base? So it says that a to the power m into a to the power n is a to the power m plus n. So let us take one example. Let's say you have 3 to the power minus 2 multiplied by 3 to the power 3. So what would be the result? It would be 3 to the power sum of minus 2 and 3. That is, it would be minus 2 plus 3. So plus 3 minus 2 would be 1. So this would be 3 to the power 1. Now let's take one more example. Now if you want, you can verify this as well, that this is how it should be. That's because if you look at the left hand side, so left hand side is equal to 1 by 3 to the power 2 into 3 to the power 3. So this becomes equal to 1 by 9 into 27. So 9 into 3 is 27. So this is 3. So left hand side is 3 and right hand side is also 3 as per the formula also, like as per this law of exponent. So this proves that the law of exponent holds true. Now let's take few more examples. Let's say 3 to minus 3 to the power 2 multiplied by minus 3 to the power minus 2. So in this case the bases are same, both the bases are minus 3. So this becomes equal to minus 3 to the power 2 plus minus 2. So this is equal to minus 3 to the power 2 minus 2. So 2 minus 2 is 0. So anything to the power 0 is equal to 1. One more example. 3 to the power minus 2 multiplied by 3 to the power minus 4. So here both the powers are negative. So what would happen? The logic would still remain the same. It would be minus 2 plus minus 4. So this would be equal to minus 2 plus minus 4 would be minus 6. So 3 to the power minus 6 would be the answer. Now let us look at division. So here let's say the first example that we consider is 5 to the power 3 divided by 5 to the power minus 2. So this would be equal to 5 to the power 3 minus minus 2. So this would be equal to 5 to the power 3 plus 2, that is 5 to the power 5. One more example, 5 to the power minus 3 divided by 5 to the power minus 2. So both the exponents are negative. So what would be this? Find out the subtraction between minus 3 and minus 2. So this would be minus 3 minus minus 2. So this would be equal to 5 to the power minus 3 plus 2, that is 5 to the power minus 1. So this is the answer. So in this fashion, whenever we see that the bases are the same, then if we are trying to multiply them, then the exponents are added. If we are trying to divide them, then the exponents are subtracted. Let us now look at power to the power, that is a to the power m whole to the power n is equal to a to the power mn. So let's look at some examples and verify if this holds true or not. For example, if you are given 2 to the power minus 2 and whole to the power 2. So as per this law, this should be equal to 2 to the power minus 2 into 2. That is 2 to the power minus 4. So this should be the answer. But let's try to verify this. So how do we verify? On the left hand side, we have 2 to the power minus 2 to the power 2. So let's find the value of this. So 2 to the power minus 2 is nothing but 1 by 2 to the power 2 whole square, right? So this is 1 by 2 to the power of 2 is 4, that is 2 into 2, and this to the power 1 to the power 2. So this is 1 by 16. Now how can we write 16? 16 can be written as 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So this can be written as 1 by 2 to the power 4, which is equal to 2 to the power minus 4. So that's the right hand side, right here. So we have proved the value of left hand side is actually equal to the value on right hand side. So this also proves that this law holds true. So let's take few more examples. Let's say you have 2 to the power 3 to the power minus 2. This would be equal to 2 to the power 3 into minus 2. That is equal to 2 to the power minus 6. Now, if you have something like this, where both the powers are negative, that is 2 to the power minus 3 to the power minus 2. So in this case, this becomes 2 to the power minus 3 into minus 2. So this would be 2 to the power 6. So in this fashion, whenever you have two powers like a to the power m whole to the power n, this can be written as a to the power mn, that is product of the powers. Now let's talk about powers with same exponents, that is the bases are different but the powers are the same. Something of this sort where the bases are a and b respectively but the exponent is the same, which is m. So again here also we will take examples. So let's first consider examples for the multiplication. So let's say you have something like 2 to the power minus 3 into 3 to the power minus 3. So as per this law, this can be written as 2 into 3 to the power minus 3, that is 6 to the power minus 3. Now how do we know this is true? Let's verify. So left hand side is 2 to the power minus 3 into 3 to the power minus 3, which can be written as 1 by 2 to the power 3 into 1 by 3 to the power 3. So 1 by 2 to the power 3 would be 8 and 1 by 3 to the power 3 would be 27. So 1 by 8 into 1 by 27, which can be written as 1 by 216, and 216 can be written as 6 into 6 into 6, that is 6 cube. So 1 by 6 cube can be written as 6 to the power minus 3, and that's the right hand side. So this is also verified. So let's try one more example. Similar to this, if I give you 5 to the power 3 multiplied by 6 to the power 3, let's say minus 3. So this would be equal to 6 into 5, that is 30 to the power minus 3. Now let's look at division. So if you have something like 4 to the power minus 2 divided by 2 to the power minus 2. So this would be equal to 4 divided by 2 to the power minus 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 2 to the power minus 2 would be the result. Let's try a few more. Let's say you have 15 to the power minus 6 divided by 17 to the power minus 6. So this can be written as 15 by 17 to the power minus 6. Now let us look at few more examples and let's see how do we apply the laws of exponents. So if you have something like this which needs to be solved, so what would you do? So let us look at the first one. So here you see the base is minus 4, here also the base is minus 4. So this falls under the category of same base, different exponent. And here we are dividing. So when we divide, what we do? We take the same base and in the power, instead of dividing, we subtract the powers. So this would be 5 minus 8. So this would be equal to minus 4 to the power minus 3, or you can even write it as 1 by minus 4 to the power 3. Let's look at the second one. 2 to the power minus 3 into minus 7 to the power minus 3. So in this case, we have same exponent because both have exponent minus 3. But we have different bases. So here what we will do, we will multiply the bases, that is 2 into minus 7 and this whole to the power minus 3. So 2 into minus 7 would be minus 14 to the power 3. This can be written as, okay, so this is minus 3. So this can be written as 1 by minus 14 to the power 3. With this you would have got a fair idea about how to deal with the negative exponents. Now let's see that how do we write very large and very small numbers in standard form. So you have already learned about writing a large number in standard form. So how do we write it? We express the number as a decimal number between 1 and 10 and then multiply it by a power of 10. Let's look at some examples. So this is just the recap. For example, 24,000. So this is not the standard form because whenever you want to write it in standard form, you have to write it in the form of a decimal number between 1 and 10. So this is far greater than 10. So how do we do that? So right now, this number actually means 24,000.00. That's how it means, right? So your decimal point is actually at the end of the number. So what we want to do, we want to shift the decimal point to such a place such that we get a decimal number between 1 and 10. So where will we shift it? We shift it 1 jump, 2 jump, 3 jump and 4 jump. We shift it here so that it becomes 2.4 and then we multiply it by a power of 10. So how much power of 10? So how many jumps have you taken here? So the point was here and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So total 4 jumps you have taken. So it will be 10 to the power 4. So this is the standard form of this number. 2.4 into 10 to the power 4. Let's look at one more example. Let's say you have this. So you have 12 lakhs. So where is your decimal point? The decimal point is here. So we want to shift this decimal point somewhere such that you get a decimal number between 1 and 10. So obviously you will shift the decimal number here so that you get 1.2 and then you multiply it to a power of 10. What would be the power? The power would be equal to the number of jumps that you have taken. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be 1.2 into 10 to the power 6. So in a similar way, when we want to represent small numbers in standard form, there also the logic would remain the same. That is, we would still want to represent that number as a decimal number between 1 and 10 and then multiplied by a negative power of 10. So that is the only difference, that this time you will have a negative power of 10. Let's take an example and understand. So let's suppose you have this number 0.00000021. So how do you write this? So here your decimal point is currently here. So how many jumps you need to make so that you are able to form a number which lies between 1 and 10. So obviously for that you should bring the decimal point here so that it becomes 2.1 and then multiplied by a negative power of 10. And what would be that negative power? That will be determined by the number of jumps that you have taken. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be 10 to the power minus 6. So this is the standard form for the small number. So the simple tip is that move right by n jumps. So the value of n in this case was 6. And then the exponent of 10 would be minus n, that is minus 6. So you just need to count the number of jumps. Let's take one more example. So this is another example. So your decimal point is here. So from where, so till where do you want to move the decimal point? So do you want to place it here 5.64? Yes, 5.64 lies between 1 and 10. Would you like to place it here 56.4? So that is far way greater than 10. So that's not the right option. So we will make it 5.64, and how many jumps have you taken? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this would be minus 7. So 5.64 into 10 to the power minus 7. So see, with this you must be able to understand that how do we represent very small numbers in standard form, and how the negative exponents help us in representing very small numbers. Now let us look at these realistic examples where we actually need these values. So if I ask you the mass of the earth, the entire planet earth, so obviously the mass is huge, as you can see on the screen. So if I actually ask you mass of the earth, it will take you good amount of time to calculate the number of zeros first and then find out their positions, right? So what do? Instead of doing that, we represent it in a simpler way. So let's see. In this case, instead of writing this, what we do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So you basically have some 21 zeros after 5, 9, 7, 2. So instead of writing this, we denote it, or we write it in its standard form. So right now the 0 is here, so we have to take the 0 all through these places, and finally we need to make it reach a place such that we get a decimal number between 1 and 10. So do you think if we place the decimal point here, you will get a decimal number between 1 and 10? No, because 5972 is greater than 10. What if we place it here? We will get 597.2. That also doesn't lie between 1 and 10. Here, no. Here, 5.972. Yes, this would work out. So this becomes 5.972 into 10 to the power. How many jumps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So this would be 10 to the power 24 kgs. So instead of writing so many zeros, you can just say 5.972 into 10 to the power 24 kgs. That's the mass of the earth. So it was very simple. We just moved left by n jumps and then added n to the existing exponent of 10. So here the value of n was 24. Let's take another example where we are trying to find something which is very small. For example, the size of a plant cell. Now, as we all know, all living organisms, they are finely made up of cells. Cells are the building blocks of living organisms. So when you look at a plant cell, which is extremely microscopic, so its size is around this 0.00001275 meters. So how can we represent this in standard form? So your decimal point is here. So we start moving towards right. That is, we start moving the decimal point towards right until it reaches a position where you get a decimal number between 1 and 10. So that decimal number is 1.275. So this can be written as 1.275 into 10 to the power minus how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 10 to the power minus 5 meters. Now, in this fashion, we can even compare very large numbers with very small numbers. For example, if you try to compare the size of the earth with the size of a plant cell, so how would you compare that? So we know that diameter of the earth is in this range, 1.2756 to the power into 10 to the power 7 meters, whereas diameter of a plant cell is of the order of 1.275 into 10 to the power minus 5 meters. So let's denote this by diameter of the earth, dE, that's denoted by diameter of the plant cell, which is dP. So the ratio of the earth's diameter to the plant cell's diameter would be equal to 1.2756 into 10 to the power 7 divided by 1.275 into 10 to the power minus 5. So if you compare this part, just leave this part aside. So this is approximately equal to 1. So 1 multiplied by 10 to the power 7 by 10 to the power minus 5. So same base, different exponents, division. So your exponents will get subtracted. So this becomes equal to 10 to the power 12. So that means the mass, the size of a cell, of the plant cell is very small than that of the size of the earth, or we can say size of the earth is 10 to the power 12 times the size of a plant cell.
Thank you for watching நம்ம channel. இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா கமெண்ட்